Part 11. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 102. Chapter 110. This mommy is very arrogant. This room is very luxurious, better than any room that Zhangxing has stayed in before, but she is not comfortable at all. There is a reason for Pao Ye not to let Zhangxing walk around casually, for fear that Zhangxing will be seen by some distinguished guest who came to Jinhao Hotel. The pure and clean Zhangxing is beautiful and graceful, and a village girl is so beautiful that it is easy to evoke her. The possessiveness of men, if a VIP wants to play and he doesn't allow it, it will offend people. Pao Ye is very domineering, but he won't easily offend people in his network. If a person doesn't know how to make a way for himself, even if he reaches a certain height, he will easily fall off. Lin Feng was sitting in his partition room smoking a daze. What he imagined in his mind was how to suddenly expand the partition room many times, and suddenly it turned into a mansion with floor-to-ceiling windows. The wide balcony was filled with his favorite plants. Standing in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows, admiring the scenery of a theme park a few hundred meters away, a slender black silk beauty arched her waist, her hips turned up in his direction, her trousers were exposed, and she was feeding a less than 3-year-old girl. Child eating candy. His cell phone rang, he broke free from his fantasy, and the floor of the partition room was still under his feet. He saw Lu Xiona, a somewhat ideal cousin, who had not been in touch with each other for a long time, and thought that he had become a passerby in life, but now Lu Xiona called him again. Biozi, hello. Lin Feng, you kid, don't look down on people so much, okay? It's not what it used to be, please call me mommy. I'm a mommy who often walks back and forth with Oxford Dictionary in between. Mummy, your sister. It looks like you've become a chicken head, Lin Feng said with a smile. You take the Oxford Dictionary you picked up every time you go out, haven't you lost it yet? Lin Feng, you're really bad. Losing money mommy made you feel comfortable before. I haven't contacted you for a long time. It's okay if you don't get excited when you hear my voice. Is it interesting to keep getting mad at me? Oh, speaking of this book, Oxford Dictionary is here, and I almost lost it when I went out to play with a few people in the same way. Fortunately, my mother found it early. I ran back all the way and found that the Oxford Dictionary was still on the bench, and my mother held it. He got up and kissed, and said, Dear, you have earned me a lot of face, you should slowly become obsolete and thicker in my glory, and you cannot disappear away from me. Lu Xiona said obsessively. Lin Feng was so smoky from the thunder that smoke came from above her head, and she said disdainfully, I heard it, you've really turned into a chicken head. There are less than 10 chickens, and the number of ducks is equal to 0 eggs. If you can put down the keyboard and play with me, then I will have a duck, and it is a duck that can only make those rich women croak, forget it. I'm not mad at you, you won't put down the keyboard easily, but at least I'm a chicken head. Do you know why this mummy called you? Think about that again? No drama, Lin Feng said. Don't be stinky, you are nothing. Ai Ben's mummy doesn't even bother to receive you. The reason for calling you is to take credit, Lu Xiona said. Lin Feng's brain has always responded very quickly, and it was easy to hear the clue from Lu Xiona's words, come here. Why don't you ask mommy why she took credit? Come and talk, Lin Feng said. Lu Xiona set off excitedly, and at the same time she was thinking, could that kid Lin Feng have already guessed it? If this is the case, this lowercase writer's brain is good enough. As she gets closer and closer to the community where Lin Feng is located, Lu Xiona's body becomes more and more wet, and all her mind flashes are the warm scenes with Lin Feng before. Although there were only a few times in total, but each time it made her unforgettable. Some time ago, Lu Xiona recalled the enthusiasm between her and Lin Feng many times, and when she thought of the real place, she would shout nervously, why so fierce? A chicken who was less than 20 years old heard it and said, Mummy, who is so fierce? Mommy said, a man who had me before. The chick said, how fierce is that man? Mommy said, it made me feel very comfortable, and he moved bravely, and I went to a happy paradise. The chick said, you let him me. Mummy said that he likes women, but he won't casually go to women. In fact, he's not very popular, but I like him. The chick has never seen that fierce man, so the chick is lost in thought. When Lu Xiona arrived, Lin Feng was already standing outside the door of the unit building, watching Lu Xiona walking gracefully with her bag and carrying the Oxford Dictionary. Lin Feng was a little depressed. A man who had played with hundreds of men-women, why can you be so elegant? True elegance and false elegance are not like real coins, and it is not so easy to distinguish, especially the Oxford Dictionary she is holding doesn't know how many people are confused. When she walks on the university campus, there must be someone. Some boys looked at her back and thought, if only this girl was his girlfriend. Lu Xiona instantly wanted to throw the Oxford Dictionary into Lin Feng's arms, but she held back. Her eyes gradually changed from to warm, and smiled. Lin Feng, long time no see, how are you? It's not bad, but now that you have offended Master Pao, you must be here for my business. Come in, Lin Feng said. Walking down the stairs, Lu Xiona wanted to suddenly attack Lin Feng's uprightness, but Lin Feng lightly grabbed her wrist and said with a smile, I'm sorry for your Oxford Dictionary. Actually, the Oxford Dictionary knows me best. When I was with a lot of men, it was lying on the side. It was made of paper, but I thought it was alive. When I was hurt, it also hurts. When I am comfortable, it is also comfortable. When I order money, it will make a laughter that only I can hear, and will say to me, congratulations, congratulations. Lin Feng is no longer as simple as being shocked. He already regards Lu Xiona as a genius. She is too subservient to be a cousin and a chicken head. She should be a material for a situational simulation expert. The door of the partition room opened, and Lin Feng asked Lu Xiona to go in first, and then he went in and closed the door. Lock the door. We don't do anything, we don't need to lock the door. Lin Feng lit a cigarette. Do it or not, put it aside first, you lock the door first. Also. Lin Feng locked the door, then sat next to Lu Xiona and said with a smile, are you still hanging out at the Jinhao Hotel? It was AI who used to be alone, sometimes the princess in the box, sometimes introduced, and now I am there with a few young ladies under my command. To put it bluntly, I just follow Pao Ye to eat. Lu Xiona finally thought of it again. After claiming to be my mother, she smiled charmingly, this mother has done a great job, even if you hate me very much, this time you have to give me a few times. Tell me, let me hear it and see if the merit you have made is worth it, Lin Feng said. Lu Xiona told her all about her feats. She was emotional, and her brows were full of excitement. When it came to the key point, her round buttocks jumped up from the chair several times. I've scared the cannon master Zhang Jijin to pee. Really a genius. If Lin Feng was a little reluctant to admit that Lei Fan's Lu Xiona was a genius just now, then he is now willing to admit that Lu Xiona is a genius, and even gave birth to some admiration for this little chicken head. Lu Xiona. Call me mommy. I'm not your duck, I'll call you an egg. Lin Feng pressed Lu Xiona's head, making her dark red hair a little messy. Forget it, what did you want to say just now? What I want to say is, if you change your career and write a novel, I found that you have a talent for making up stories, Lin Feng said. Lu Xiona was stunned for a while, and soon burst into laughter. Her plump vibrated elastically in front of Lin Feng. Don't bully me, your industry is far less enjoyable than mine. Code words. Do you need to take off your pants? Do you need a Bioon cover for code words? Do you need tissues for code words? Don't dim the color of my life. Lin Feng wanted to die. He raised his hand and wanted to slap Lu Xiona and slap the swatch in the face. But he thought that Lu Xiona did help him, and it was not easy to help him at the risk of offending Pao Yet. "I'll treat you to dinner," Lin Feng said. "I do not want to eat." "I invite you to K Sing," Lin Feng said. "Often K, I already feel like throwing up." "I'll buy a gift for you." "You can choose a bag within 1,000 yuan," Lin Feng said. Lu Xiona's face was a little unseemly. She was gloomy just now. She stared at Lin Feng's face full of resentment for a minute, and suddenly burst into tears. Hearing Lu Xiona's earth-shattering voice, and seeing her crying, Lin Feng panicked a little. "Cry a fart. Lin Feng, you're so mad at me. I spent so much effort to pester you before, and even got slapped in the face, but I ended up getting 500 yuan from you, but this time I didn't have much effort. You want to give me a gift of less than 1,000 yuan," Lu Xiona said. "Different in nature. But I think if you take off your pants, you should get more," Lu Xiona said. "Then you are wrong. If you take off your pants, you may lose your pants, and you may also lose your purity and life. Not taking off is uncomfortable. Then you can continue to take it off. I have to thank you this time. As I said earlier, if you want cash for gifts within 1,000 yuan, I will pay you," Lin Feng said. Lu Xiona's breathing became more and more uneven, her chest heaving more and more violently, and at the risk of being slapped by Lin Feng, she bravely threw herself into her arms. Lin Feng felt once again that something very soft was also very soft. It can bring a violent impact to the human body, and it may also fall to death if it falls into the cotton pile from a height of 100 meters. Crispy. Warm. The smell of mid-range perfume and the smell of skin are very sultry. Even if it is a watch, she can be very fragrant. "Do you really want that?" Lin Feng said helplessly. "I think too much. I won't go too far, come here for a long time, and I won't pester you in the future. You should also think about a question clearly. I'm a chicken head anyway, and my identity has changed. I really want to call you mommy now." Lin Feng took off all the clothes on Lu Xiona's body, and after admiring her naked body for a moment, she became very enthusiastic with her. After being stimulated, Lin Feng realized that he forgot to wear a condom. Lu Xiona recovered from the wildness just now after a long time, and looked at Lin Feng's face obsessively. "Why are you so fierce? Why do you let me be like that? Comfortable? Who will become your wife in the future? That's great. Feeling comfortable every day, envy the dead. I didn't wear a condom just now." What? Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 103. Chapter 111. Grand and Funny. Lu Xiona screamed, and she soon showed a look of frustration, choked up. "Lin Feng, I hurt you." Lin Feng didn't turn around for a while, and said stunned, "You mean, you are sick during this time?" Is it serious?" "It won't kill anyone, but it's highly contagious. It's already infected nearly 10 men. I guess you won't be able to run away," Lu Xiona said. Lin Feng realized that Lu Xiona was deliberately trying to frighten him, to make fun of him, only to hear a pop. Lin Feng's hand gently slapped Lu Xiona's face. It wouldn't hurt her too much, but the sound was very brittle. "You're such a jerk." "I'm a product, I'm cheap, I'm happy, I'm a product." "It's not my product, it's my mom," Lin Feng reminded. "Oh, mommy should go. As for your gift of less than 1,000 yuan, it's not uncommon. I felt comfortable just now. Thank you for your uprightness." Lu Xiona smiled charmingly. "Others, I have platinum, and I pay attention to hygiene, and I am a little sick." "Nothing." After the thunderstorms, Lu Xiona left Lin Feng's partition room, and then left this very dilapidated community, walked to the spacious and clean side road, and enjoyed the public facilities of this prosperous metropolis. First he scared Pao Ye, now Lu Xiona scared Pao Ye again. Thinking that Pao Ye is also a character who has been mixed up in the wind and waves, but recently he has been frightened into fear. Lin Feng has a sense of accomplishment, and at the same time, he hopes that the storm can be calmed down. It's almost midnight. Lin Feng came to the inspiration. He tapped the mechanical keyboard with his hands flying like a fly, weaving real and blurred stories, and created his wealth. The phone rang. It was a number that he had never seen before. Lin Feng was very puzzled. Could it be that a chicken under Lu Xiona's command contacted him? After hesitating for a moment, he picked it up. "Hello, who are you looking for?" "Brother Lin Feng, I'm Zhang Jijin. I have offended you a few days ago, and I feel very sorry. In order to calm you down, I can't wait to give up this face and kowtow to you a few times." "Master Pao, you are a character, you don't need to kowtow, but I also warn you, don't always do things that don't have buts in the future. If you really anger me, you must be killed." Lin Feng said something that seemed to be quite an identity, and there was a panic-stricken edge in his lowness. If he is a fearless heavyweight, he might drive a sports car and bring an off-road team to slay him when he hears what he said just now, but Master Pao is indeed getting more and more panicked. "Brother Lin Feng, it's better to solve the enemy than to end it. You look, I'm much older than you, and I know I'm wrong, so you give me a chance to make up for it." Pao Ye thinks that his identity can't hold Lin Feng down, so he can only move his age out. This is also Pao Ye's speaking skills. He knows very well that if an older person says this to a younger person, he will usually not want a counter effect. How to make up for it? "I'm going to entertain you at the Jinhao Hotel, and I'll give you a generous gift at the same time," Pao Ye said. If you don't accept Pao Ye's banquet, Pao Ye will continue to panic, and may continue to send people to check him. In this case, it may be revealed. The made-up identity background is easy to be used. It's best to get rid of the idea of checking him. "Okay, I'll go. I'm a big drinker, but I don't pick wine. I drink all the sauce-flavored and fragrant ones, and Mao Tai Will Yanjai Fenjiu is my dish." Lin Feng didn't know if he was talking too much, but he just wanted to continue, and it was soon verified that his slightly lazy words just now had a good effect. Master Pao said, "Brother Lin Feng, I definitely don't. It will disappoint you, treat you to dinner, and move up the good wine in boxes." Lin Feng lost sleep this night. What happened recently seemed like a dream to him. He did things he shouldn't have done, and said things he shouldn't have said. Fortunately, he didn't have hallucinations. He was still very clear. It's the writer who has been pounding the keyboard for the ideal. It was only in the early morning that I felt sleepy. When I woke up, it was already past 10 o'clock in the morning. Lin Feng sat up and called Shang Yuna. Seeing that it was Lin Feng, Shang Yuna quickly picked it up. "Lin Feng, are you looking for me? Is there something wrong?" Master Pao was frightened. "Please have dinner at noon, you and I will go together," Lin Feng said. "Go to Jinhao Hotel? What if Pao Ye plays tricks? I think you don't go there. Since he's scared, let him continue to be scared. It's better to scare that dog out of a heart attack." Shang Yun Nada. "Big and no brains. Fuck you. Please pay attention to elegance," Lin Feng said. "No one is watching, what's so elegant about the old lady and you?" Shang Yuna became irritable. "If you really want to go, who will be responsible for the safety of the old lady?" "Whoever is by your side is responsible," Lin Feng said. "Don't be overconfident. If you go to the Jinhao Hotel, you will arrive at Pao Ye's nest. Are you sure you can bring me out safely? If you want to hurt you, you have to step over me." "Do you think you are a ringing horse?" Shang Yuna said. "Are you going or not?" Hearing that Lin Feng was angry, Shang Yuna said with a bit of grievance, "Just go, let's take care of you." Lin Feng and Shang Yuna went outside the revolving door of Jinhao Hotel together. Lin Feng was wearing a set of very clean casual clothes. This suit did not have many features. The only feature was that it was very clean. It was not just torn off the label, but it had been washed many times. Fortunately, the price was so low that it was not good. The quality of the clothes I guessed is okay, and they are not deformed. Wearing them on his body can not only show off his strong body, but also keep a low profile. Shang Yuna wore a very elegant little suit, her beautiful face was always so dazzling, and her slender and graceful body was particularly eye-catching. Master Pao Zhongjijin has already gone out to greet him accompanied by old counselor and a few walls. Master Pao has many friends and many enemies, so no matter where he goes, he will bring a few who can fight with him. At this time, in Pao Ye's eyes, Lin Feng is a prodigal son with a blurred identity, and Shang Yuna is a beautiful and elegant gift, but this gift is no longer his food. If he insists on eating her, she will burn her mouth. Can no longer eat. Brother Lin Feng, teacher Shang, you are here, let's go in. Pao Ye put away his domineering, his expression and tone were calm, but Lin Feng could see the panic in his eyes. Jinhao Hotel has not participated in the rating, but according to the specifications, it is at least 3-star or above. There are cafeterias, banquet halls, and luxurious private rooms, but Master Pao took Lin Feng and Shang Yuna directly to the general manager's office. Here it is the place where Pao Ye usually receives his friends and plays with women in his office. This is the place to eat this meal. Although there were not many people seated, Master Pao put a super large round table in. The reason is very simple. The large round table can put more dishes, so this meal must not be sloppy. Master Pao ordered the kitchen to serve food, and at the same time presented a soft wrapped yellow crane tower 1916 to Lin Feng, and said with a smile, "Brother Lin Feng, I answered that sentence again, I don't know each other, I can sit with you. It's my Zhongjijin's honor to eat. What I admire most are people with real kung fu. In fact, I am also a person with real kung fu, but I was far worse than you. You are very good at fighting, very good at fighting." What? Pao Ye said this just to emphasize that the reason why he lowered his stance and invited Lin Feng here was not because he was jealous of his background but because he admired him from the bottom of his heart. Lin Feng naturally gave Pao Ye a step and said with a smile, "My kung fu is all for self-defense. Actually, I didn't intend to offend Pao Ye, but I'll be fine in the future. Since you're here, you're a friend. If you need Zhongjijin's help in the future, you only need a word." Master Pao looked at Shang Yuna and said with a guilty expression, "Mr. Shang, I'm obsessed, I won't pester you in the future, you are a people's teacher, a great profession, I should support you more in the future." Master Gun, you are serious? Sitting next to Lin Feng, Shang Yuna had a lot of face. She couldn't believe it. Lin Feng, an inexperienced boy, could make her have such a face. It was considered that Lin Feng had a solution. People kept bringing the dishes. Although there were only 4 people seated, Lin Feng, Shang Yuna, Pao Ye, and the old man, there were more than 30 dishes in total. After the phone call with Lin Feng, Pao Ye knew that he was a big drinker, including Mao Tai, Lao Beifan, and Wu Yanjai. At the same time, he also prepared $10,000 French red wine and juice for Shang Yuna. This table is expected to cost more than 20,000 yuan. The old man was in charge of pouring the wine. Mu Tai poured it first, and then poured red wine into Shang Yuna's goblet. The beautiful Shang Yuna is right in front of her eyes, but Pao Ye's eyes are very indifferent. There is no show of hunting beauty, just chatting with Lin Feng non-stop. Concentrating on Lin Feng is a very talented person, talented young man who knows how to be self-reliant, and also talked about his passionate deeds when he was young. Lin Feng did not boast or despise Pao Ye in any way, but just acted as an audience and sometimes echoed a few words. After clinking glasses several times, the greetings were different each time, and it was even more obvious that Master Pao was a very particular person. He was very particular about dealing with people who should be careful. Naturally, no need to pay attention. The atmosphere is very good, but Shang Yuna can always have unexpected situations at any time. For example, suddenly someone walks in and whispers a few words into Pao Ye's ear. Pao Ye's attitude immediately makes a 180-degree turn, turning it over. At the dinner table, I took out a knife. More than 2 hours have passed, the banquet is coming to an end, and nothing unexpected happened. Shang Yuna just wanted to leave as soon as possible, so as to reduce the possibility of accidents. She squeezed Lin Feng's arm, showing a very close look, and her smile was a bit charming. Lin Feng, I have something to do in the afternoon, we are about the same. It's time to go. Pao Ye is also a busy man and is very warm to us, so we shouldn't disturb us for a long time. Shang Yuna's elegant and proud words greeted Lin Feng's light smile. Lin Feng looked at Pao Ye, thank you for your hospitality. Let's go first, and let's pretend it never happened before. Master Pao is not concerned about the past, but the future. He smiled and said, sing in the future. Lin Feng nodded lightly, but he didn't want to sing with people like Pao Ye. Lin Feng also wanted to have his own network in Beijing, but people like Pao Ye were not in the range he wanted to associate with. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 104. Wang Wei on the other end of the phone laughed. Her laughter was neither nervous nor embarrassed, but rather relaxed. After 8 years, if you are not married, and I am not married, then I will marry you. Now you can rest assured, at least there is a guarantee. Wang Wei paused for a moment and said, before this, you don't have to think about me all the time, and I won't miss you either. We'll be good friends, and when we have time, we'll have a chat, have a meal, and talk about our real ideals. Talking about ideals can be done in a chatting way, or in a stupefied way. Many ideals of men and women are discussed in bed. Suddenly, he talks about a beautiful manager, suddenly he talks about a beautiful star, suddenly he talks about an abandoned pot-bellied woman. Lin Feng was very distressed, and Wang Wei immediately pushed the possibility of being his girlfriend to 8 years later. Cruel. Very cruel. Are you happy? Very happy. Lin Feng couldn't help but think that Wang Wei was very happy, because after 8 years, if no one got married, Wang Wei would marry him. By that time, they would all be in their 30s. You're very good at calculating. If that kind of situation of leftover boys and girls really happens to the two of us, after 8 years of marriage, I'll let you have one, and then you can have a child in 35 years. Years ago Lin Feng said. You bastard, worthy of writing online novels, you even thought about the best reproductive period for a woman, and you still me. It should have been a tease to Wang Wei just now, but Lin Feng's heart was very strange, because they talked to each other about what might happen in 8 years, and before that, Wang Wei was unlikely to be his girlfriend. If you are not boyfriend and girlfriend, you may not be ambiguous. Maybe during these years, he and Wang Wei would create a lot of ambiguity. Maybe on a fascinated night, at that moment of rain or snow, he would crawl on Wang Wei's body and have sex. Afternoon. Lin Feng arrived at Shang Yunjuan's graphic production center. Shang Yunjuan was very surprised that Lin Feng actually came to her on the initiative, and it seemed that she had lost her mind. Shang Yunjuan, dressed in sweater and trousers, is plump, giving the impression that if she sleeps with her arms around her, it will be very comfortable. She smiled lightly at Lin Feng. In the eyes of the two female employees, this kind of light smile is already very charming. Although they don't have enough evidence, they can vaguely feel that there is a relationship between the charming female boss Shang Yunjuan and this internet writer named Lin Feng. Maybe the two of them have been through different poses many times. I don't know if the charming female boss likes to go up or down when she does that, or to play a little more difficult on the side, and whether she will make a wild cry when the pleasure comes. These two female employees like to sell cute and innocent in front of Shang Yunjuan. Although Meng and Innocent are no longer there, they are still very hesitant to sell them, but behind the scenes they like to talk about some very ambiguous and moist topics with Shang Yunjuan as the topic. We even talked a few times about how many men Shang Yunjuan had done that thing to. A divorced charming woman would definitely be crazy if she was impulsive. Lin Feng, why are you here? To print an agreement. What agreement? The agreement on the price increase of the manuscript fee. Arrange the contents of the U-disc according to the time. The last one is. Lin Feng put the USB flash drive in Shang Yunjuan's hand, then sat on the chair and lit a cigarette and started smoking. Shang Yunjuan handed the USB flash drive to the girl with round face who had been strangled for wearing t-shirts because of curiosity. In his hand, he walked to Lin Feng's side. Curious, how much did you mention? Lin Feng always felt that it would be more impactful to say 10 yuan for 1,000 words without saying how much 1,000 words cost. He smiled and said, it's 40 yuan for 1,000 words. Shang Yunjuan has never done a big account in her life, she has never been rich, and she doesn't have much money for her to count, but she is very shrewd when it comes to small accounts. In addition, she is very clear about the number of code words for Lin Feng each month, and it is calculated in an instant that Lin Feng is already a person with a monthly salary of over 10,000. Congratulations, Lin Feng. Another step forward. Shang Yunjuan smiled. Lin Feng smiled at Shang Yunjuan. At this moment, his smile was a little proud. What I thought in my mind was that my path was a step-by-step, very solid. I never felt that I was a genius, and very few people said that I was a genius. My monthly salary is more than 10,000 yuan, which is God's reward. If I can, the monthly salary is more than 100,000 yuan, which belongs to the way of heaven and is more rewarding. After the agreement was printed and the copy of the ID card was copied, Lin Feng didn't show off immediately, and had a very warm chat with the two female employees. First, we talked about travel, and we started to share which star cities and scenic spots we have been to. Later, we talked about entertainment gossip, what movies and songs we have watched, and which male stars are the most handsome and which female stars are the most coquettish. Later, we talked about it again. Love and marriage. Both female employees asked Lin Feng, what kind of girlfriend do you want to find? Do you really want to settle down in Beijing? Do you plan to have a baby after marriage? Lin Feng's answer was ambiguous. Some questions made him annoyed, but he couldn't afford to lose his temper at Shang Yunjuan's two female employees, so he left an impression on the two female employees that he would not get angry easily. Evening. Lin Feng and Shang Yunjuan left the graphic production center together. Shang Yunjuan drove her Bora, Lin Feng sat beside her smoking, opened the scenery through the car window, and smelled the aroma of Shang Yunjuan's body. What she thought was he still remembers the warm scenes with Shang Yunjuan in the past, especially the hesitant feeling when they were entangled for the first time. Lin Feng, your monthly salary is over 10,000 yuan, have you thought about changing houses? Sister Shang, you don't want me to live in your rental house, do you? Your brain is flooded. I definitely want you to live in my rental room, but I just want to know if you should change to a larger room, and the young couple who live in the master bedroom will move out after the spring festival. It's good to change to the master bedroom, the room is soundproof, and the noise from the outside won't affect you. Sister Shang, don't you know, I like to hear that kind of sound, squeak, squeak, oh oh oh, every time I hear it, I feel like a fountain of writing. You stinky boy, why are your tastes getting heavier and heavier? This will affect your physical and mental health. You'd better move to the master bedroom. Shang Yunjuan's wholeheartedly let him move to the master bedroom. Is it just to make him clean? Is there any other reason? Shang Yunjuan is definitely not afraid of not being able to rent the master bedroom, nor is she afraid that the rent of the master bedroom will not be affordable. Renting to someone else is definitely more expensive than renting to him. Lin Feng didn't think of the true meaning of it for a while. In short, he gave Lin Feng the impression that Shang Yunjuan was a kind woman and a lonely woman. Also a scheming woman. When Lin Feng and Shang Yunjuan arrived home, Shang Yuna also came back from Beijing Normal University. She was dressed in fancy clothes, which perfectly blended elegance and beauty. She was dancing alone in the living room just now. When she saw Lin Feng and Shang Yunjuan, her dance steps stopped. "Lin Feng, you are here." Although she knew that Lin Feng came here not only for dinner, but also for her sister, Shang Yuna's attitude towards Lin Feng was much better than before. It was probably because Lin Feng helped her deal with Zhang Zhijin, the master of the cannon. If it hadn't been for Lin Feng's bravery and conspiracy to make Pao Ye stop, Shang Yuna probably wouldn't even have the courage to go to work. Shang Yunjuan didn't tell Shang Yuna about the increase in Lin Feng's royalties, as if she was afraid that Shang Yuna would know about it, and at the same time, she didn't want Shang Yuna to sit in the living room and chat with Lin Feng, and she went to the kitchen to cook. At that time, I called Shang Yuna over because she wanted Shang Yuna to help. "Sister, you don't seem normal today. Could it be that you are too wet and stick to your butt? You still have a postgraduate diploma, and you are still a teacher at Beijing Normal University. Where is your elegance? What do you mean when your pants are too wet? What do you mean by sticking to your butt?" The verbal lesson was not very enjoyable, and Shang Yunjuan even raised her leg and kicked Shang Yuna's calf. She has always felt sorry for Shang Yuna, so naturally she didn't use much effort. Shang Yuna laughed and felt that her sister was not normal. Could it be associated with pleasure? It feels wonderful, so it's a little abnormal? It doesn't seem to be. Shang Yunjuan cooks vegetables. Shang Yuna washes and chops vegetables. Gradually, Shang Yuna thought of the key point: did that kid Lin Feng raise the price of his manuscript? Shang Yunjuan was very surprised. She hadn't mentioned this yet, and was considering how to bring it up. After all, she needed a reason to move Lin Feng to the master bedroom, but Shang Yuna actually thought of it herself. Lin Feng's manuscript fee has been increased, and it has become 40 yuan per 1,000 words, but how did you think of it? Lin Feng told me before that his fee might be raised again years ago. Now that kid has a monthly salary of over 10,000 yuan, but remember, he's not your favorite, he's just mine. Shang Yunjuan said, "What about you? It would be best if you could find a rich man, even if you can't find someone who is particularly rich, it's not bad to find someone with real power or even a small amount of power. Even if Lin Feng fools you, don't take his word lightly. Shang Yunjuan is a kind person. She is not very selfish at ordinary times. She often pleases unrelated people, but when it comes to Shang Yuna's future, she will be very selfish." After listening to Shang Yunjuan's rather mundane analysis just now, Shang Yuna said silently for a moment, "Lin Feng won't fool me. It's strange that he doesn't fool you, he has always been thinking about you." Shang Yunjuan thought to herself, "Maybe that kid was thinking about you when he tried to force my body, maybe that kid wanted to give both of us sisters. I told Lin Feng a few days ago that although the gunner stopped, you can pretend to be my boyfriend until a few years ago, but Lin Feng said, no need, that's it." Shang Yuna said, "Sister, you know it too." "Yes, when Lin Feng pretends to be my boyfriend, he can have a little flirtation, hugging is okay, but he said no, so I infer that he has a different mood towards me." It turned out that it was proposed by Lin Feng, but Shang Yunjuan always thought that it was proposed by Shang Yuna. What is this kid Lin Feng thinking about? I want to ask him tonight. Several dishes were brought to the table, there were drinks and liquor. Shang Yuna looked at Lin Feng's face. I have to say, her eyes were very warm at this time, less sharp than before. Maybe this kind of sharpness will be in the future. Back, but not at this time. "Lin Feng, your boy's manuscript fee is 40 yuan per 1,000 words, and you are also a person with a monthly salary of over 10,000. You don't know how to buy a good bottle of wine on the road. Didn't I give you good tea and wine when Lord Pao gave me a generous gift the other day? Those 2 bottles of expensive French red wine don't seem to have been drunk yet. To be continued. Peach Youth author, Sci-fi. Chapter 105. Let Lin Feng say this, not only Shang Yuna, but even Shang Yunjuan is embarrassed, so expensive red wine will definitely not be easy to drink. During the chat 2 days ago, Shang Yunjuan also said, Yuna, Lin Feng, the 2 bottles of French red wine given will be kept for at least 10 years. Shang Yuna said that although this kind of red wine is very expensive, it is also very common, and the appreciation is not large. Not to mention that it has been preserved for 10 years, even if it is preserved for 30 years, it is meaningless. Shang Yunjuan said that it is not for appreciation, but for preservation. If such a good wine is drunk, it will disappear after urinating. If you don't drink it, it will always be there. Shang Yuna said, put it there, we always have it. Shang Yunjuan's face was slightly red, and she didn't know how to explain to Lin Feng. The current situation seemed to be reluctant to invite him to a good drink. Shang Yuna quickly said something that made Shang Yunjuan very depressed, how about opening a bottle of French red wine? Don't open it, I don't like drinking that either. What I meant just now is that I have already rewarded you 2 sisters in advance. Lin Feng was quite proud. Shang Yunjuan and Shang Yuna were both embarrassed, but they were relieved. After all, the expensive red wine was saved. I believe that even if Lin Feng came over again in the future, he would not easily open the stubble of the 2 bottles of wine. In order to celebrate the increase in Lin Feng's manuscript fee, Shang Yunjuan and Shang Yuna drank white wine with him. After clinking glasses, Shang Yunjuan smiled and said, Lin Feng, you have made further progress in your favorite career. Sister Shang congratulates you and wishes you an early date. Find a girl you like, and your love and career will have a double harvest. Thank you, Sister Shang. Lin Feng said in his heart, because of the kindness you said just now, when I get to bed, I plan to use more strength for you, and I have to make you comfortable. Lin Feng, I also congratulate you, you used to help me, I always despised you, don't worry, I won't despise you easily in the future, although you are not rich yet, but you are really capable people, we will be good friends in the future. Shang Yuna smiled brightly and her eyes were still warm. If you despise me for no reason in the future, how should I punish you? Lin Feng said with a smile. Tell me. Screw your ass. Okay, if I despise you for no reason in the future, you will screw my heart. Shang Yuna was happy for Lin Feng from the bottom of her heart, and she joked with Lin Feng on a whim. Shang Yunjuan sounded harsh and coughed several times in a row, but it didn't stop Shang Yuna and Lin Feng from teasing. This is just a small achievement, and there will be even greater achievements in the future. Lin Feng ate the vegetables with relish. When can you earn more than 20,000 a month? A monthly salary of more than 20,000 is nothing. In the near future, a monthly salary of more than 50,000 is very possible, Lin Feng said. If your monthly salary exceeds 50,000 yuan, then you can earn more than 600,000 yuan a year, and you can earn a relatively high-end off-road vehicle a year. This is trivial to me, Lin Feng said. Shang Yunjuan became more and more angry. She didn't want to drink or eat vegetables. She felt that this kid Lin Feng had fooled her sister Shang Yuna. If he gets angry and Lin Feng leaves in a fit of rage, he can't be stunned tonight. Lin Feng earns more now, and it cannot be ruled out that he will rent another house and move out when he is angry. Shang Yunjuan didn't get angry in the end, but her face was indeed not very good looking. Lin Feng and Shang Yuna could see it, but the two of them continued to tease. Lin Feng said that if he is rich in the future, he will go outside Lopner and Zhenengjia, and if he is lucky, he will be able to catch the savages. Shang Yuna said, take me there, let's catch the savages together. Lin Feng said that when he has money, he can get a 24-hour all-weather off-road vehicle, a Hummer H2 or a Land Rover Range Rover series, and go to Zhejiang for a self-driving tour. Shang Yuna said, take me there, Let's watch the snow-capped mountains and the clear lake together. Lin Feng said that in the future, when he has money, he will travel abroad more often. He will go to the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. He will play a few cards in Las Vegas and take some pictures under the cathedral. Shang Yuna said, "Take me there and sleep in the big beds of five-star hotels in different countries." Lin Feng and Shang Yuna even mentioned sleeping, which made Shang Yunjuan very confused and couldn't bear it any longer. Even if she was not stunned tonight, she would panic. "Lin Feng, you have enough skills, you haven't eaten a meal yet. Just fooling my sister into the bed, or a big bed in a five-star hotel in a different country, what's your kid's mind? A fiery red heart. You still don't give me fiery hot spots. Although your manuscript fee is 40 yuan per 1,000 words, I still mean it before, don't beat my sister's idea." Shang Yunjuan blushed, like an angry hen, for fear that Shang Yuna, this chick, will be attacked by the outside world. Shang Yuna was very embarrassed. She had already broken free from the wonderful mood she had just teased with Lin Feng. As for the soft big bed of the five-star hotel in different countries, it also floated to the horizon. The sky above is a clear blue, and the clouds are flying under the blue sky, transforming into different patterns. Shang Yuna was in great pain and hesitated for a moment before saying, "Sister, are you a little too sensitive? Lin Feng and I are just joking, why are you angry?" Shang Yunjuan snorted coldly and walked away. She didn't plan to eat anymore. When she got to her room, she threw herself on the bed and started crying. She is crying why her sister has not caught the golden turtle son-in-law, and other beauties can be caught, why can't her sister be caught? She was crying why her sister felt better and better for Lin Feng, and could become Lin Feng's meal at any time. Life seems to be a joke. Life doesn't seem to be joking. Lin Feng did not leave immediately, his expression was very indifferent, and he continued to drink and eat. Shang Yuna was no longer in the mood to eat, and had been sitting at the dining table with Lin Feng. After eating and drinking, Lin Feng walked towards Shang Yunjuan's room. Shang Yuna wanted to say, "What are you going to do when my sister is angry?" but she didn't say it. The door was not locked, so Lin Feng easily opened the door and walked in. Shang Yuna got up and looked at Lin Feng with tears in her eyes. She didn't let Lin Feng roll away, but her face was full of anger. Lin Feng pushed Shang Yunjuan onto the bed in a hurry, tore off all her clothes, and stunned her with all his might. After more than an hour of enthusiasm, Lin Feng was relieved in anger, and Shang Yunjuan was also relieved in anger. After wiping her body and lifting her panties, Shang Yunjuan seemed to be calmer than when she was angry, and said with a relieved smile, "Just pretend I didn't say anything at the dinner table. If you can really catch my sister, it's your ability. I didn't say I wanted to chase her, you can see that, my situation is getting better and better, I want to find a girlfriend with better conditions," Lin Feng said. Shang Yunjuan was stunned. Shang Yunjuan felt a strong sense of frustration. "What do you mean by a bastard? If your monthly salary exceeds 10,000, you will look down on my sister? If this goes on, when your monthly salary is 50,000 or 100,000, will you be even more arrogant? Whoever has me in their eyes will have someone in my eyes, and whoever does not have me in their eyes will have no one in my eyes." Lin Feng lit a cigarette and blew on Shang Yunjuan's full chest. Shang Yunjuan was severely beaten by Lin Feng just now, and now she was severely beaten by Lin Feng. His face was pale but still charming. "Tell me about the house, do you want to continue living with me?" "I don't want to move a lot, it's a waste of time, it's okay to move a little, that master bedroom, I'll rent it after the young couple moves out in a few years," Lin Feng said. "Are you sure?" "Deal. Then I won't find another tenant, I'll rent it to you. If you rent it to someone else, the minimum price is 1,800 a month. You know the price very well. Since you helped Yun Na deal with Pao Ye, the rent to you is 1 month. 1,000, I have also discussed this price with Yuna, She has no opinion. It will be about 10,000 yuan less in 1 year, and when you rent for a full year, the rent will be raised appropriately. Can you? Shang Yunjuan said. No problem. Lin Feng stroked Shang Yunjuan's chest. Sure enough, it was a brace. Shang Yuna was very anxious. Lin Feng had been in her sister's room for almost 2 hours, and she still hasn't come out. First, Leng Deng's voice lasted for a long time, and then after 20 minutes of stopping, Leng Deng's voice came again. Shang Yuna thought, Lin Feng, you are so cruel, are you going to stun her to death just because my sister said something you don't like to hear? If Lin Feng still doesn't come out after a while, she will knock on the door. Fortunately, more than half an hour later, Lin Feng and Shang Yunjuan came out together. Shang Yunjuan's anger dissipated, her face was rosy and watery, and it seemed that she had poured enough water. Lin Feng left. Shang Yuna laughed and said, Sister, are you a little too passive? You are angry at first, and then you are happy when you are comfortable. Fuck you, anyone can ridicule me, but you are not qualified to ridicule me. I'm not doing it for your own good. I remind you, don't let Lin Feng fool you easily, although his monthly salary is over 10,000 yuan now, maybe in a few years. There is no way for a monthly salary to exceed 20,000 with your educational background and appearance. How can you find someone with tens of millions? Even better if you can find hundreds of millions. There are potential leaders in the Science Bureau. It can also be considered, Shang Yunjuan said. Sister, since you mentioned the junior leaders in the Science Bureau, I will say it. In the current situation, people who are generally in their 30s are over the age of marriage. If they are divorced, the man. What Shang Yuna said was a very realistic question, and it was also a question that made Shang Yunjuan very entangled. She was a divorced woman, and naturally she didn't want her sister, who was still a big girl, to find a divorced man. Try not to find a divorced man. If it is in a very suitable situation, you should also find out why he divorced, Shang Yunjuan said. I have a headache, I want to rest early. Sister, you and Lin Feng have been tossing for almost 2 hours. I guess you are tired enough. You should rest early. Shang Yuna walked back to the bedroom with graceful steps. Shang Yunwan looked at her back and thought, my sister, you have a pretty face and a good figure, and you have a postgraduate diploma. Why can't you find a good rich man? In Shang Yuna's circle of friends, there are a few who are not as good as her in appearance, figure, and other qualifications, and they have found a good husband, but she still has one left. Thinking of this, Shang Yuna will suffer, and Shang Yunjuan will suffer too. Returning to the partition room, Lin Feng habitually lit a cigarette and stood by the glass window to look at the scenery outside. The lights were brilliant, the traffic was surging and people were surging. The busyness of the city never stopped, because the city's many people are venting their anger, and all the prosperity is created by those who are still venting their anger. Finish. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 106. Standing by the glass window and watching the scenery for more than 10 minutes, Lin Feng felt that the space in the partition room seemed to be much larger, and even the four walls were a little farther away from him. Lin Feng sat on the chair, turned on the laptop, and while waiting for the computer to start up, what he thought of was a warm scene with the beautiful landlord Shang Yunjuan. From the first time he got her soft and moist body until now, every warm the scene floated through his mind. Shang Yunjuan has made him comfortable many times, and because of Shang Yuna's affairs, he has also been depressed many times. The current situation is that Shang Yuna thinks he is getting better and better, but Shang Yunjuan still thinks that he is not his sister dishes. Sometimes Lin Feng really wanted to do that action to Shang Yunjuan, making her rippling while shouting, and sometimes Lin Feng wanted to give Shang Yunjuan a slap on the buttocks and make him cry while crying. So far, Lin Feng has not beat Shang Yunjuan's violently, but it cannot be ruled out that one day in the future he will hit Shang Yunjuan's ruthlessly. After logging into the chat software, There is a new friend authentication information, the online name is Yang Chun Baixu, the information is marked as a woman, and the nationality is Iraq. Seeing Iraq, Lin Feng felt that this netizen's information was not credible, and it was not necessarily a woman. Although the possibility of being a ladyboy was very small, it was possible that it was a man. If it is not a classmate or a friend, Lin Feng usually does not chat with men. In his spare time, Lin Feng prefers to joke with women of different ages, except for those under 10 years old. There is a generation gap and no common language. Anyone from 10 to 50 years old can have a chat. Lin Feng likes to chat about fashion and ideals with women in their 20s, about taste and sentiment with women in their 30s, about life and children with women in their 40s, and about the world and perceptions with women in their 50s. Although the netizens of this authentication information are a bit unreliable, they are all 119 years old, and their home is still in Iraq, but Lin Feng still passed the authentication information. There is no special permission set for the space, but there are no logs and photos. Sent, the level is only 2 small stars. There is no information that can prove that she is a woman. Since the gender is marked as a woman in the very unreliable information, let's think she is a woman for the time being. It turned out to be online. The portrait was a lark standing on a branch. Lin Feng took another puff of cigarettes and blew a puff of smoke at the screen. He began to consider whether to send her a message. In the past, there were netizens who added Wukikyang to him. Some would chat randomly, some would not talk at all, some wanted to kiss him overnight, and some wanted to borrow money from him. These types of people are generally deleted during regular cleaning. They are first pulled into the blacklist and then completely deleted. Those who have not changed their minds will always be on the blacklist. Perhaps because of his state of mind, Lin Feng had a very special feeling for this newly added friend, so he sent a smile to his face. There was soon a message back from there, "You are really silver." Lin Feng didn't think that the usual smiling face just now was so silvery. As for the bright smile, could it be a woman who used to be with him before? Lu Ziona? Absolutely not. He has Lu Ziona's chat account, and Lu Ziona has absolutely no need to get a new account to play mystery with him. Lu Ziona prefers to take off her pants and say to him, "Look at me." Bai Shan? Absolutely not, Bai Shan chatting with him is not this style. If it is Bai Shan who is in Guangzhou, he would not add him in this way. Even if we start a chat, it will be a sad tone. We used to be passionate together, but now we can't. Definitely sad. Lin Feng did have a chat account from Bai Shan's past, but now the space of that account is filled with a lot of bad information. Even if Bai Shan was a bad woman before, she would not get a lot of bad information in the space because she was afraid that others would know about it. She is bad and likes to be considered good by others. Lin Feng continued to think about it. It was possible that it was Shang Yunjuan, Shang Yuna, Wang Wei, and several other female college students. At present, what cannot be ruled out is his ex-girlfriend Shen Bingqian and the beauty Cao Shuiying of Beijing University of Information Technology. Lin Feng didn't send a message for 5 minutes, but he couldn't wait any longer. He seemed to want to chat with him, so he sent a message. "What are you busy with? I said that you are silver and you are angry? Not trying to blacklist me?" Lin Feng, it is possible. Yang Chun begs you, if you dare to add me to the blacklist, I will break your legs, both your long legs and one short leg. Ruthless. Who is this? If you know him, it can't be Cao Shuiying. Because Cao Shuiying has seen his kung fu, she is obviously frightened, and she is unlikely to say such cruel words to him. Is it Shen Bingqian? Even if the ex-girlfriend knew that he was good at kung fu, it was possible to talk to him in this tone. If it's really Shen Bingqian, why didn't you use the previous number to chat but get a new number? Do you want to play mystery or to get to know each other again? Lin Feng was a little depressed. I hope this person is Shen Bingqian, and I don't want this person to be Shen Bingqian. The reason for the hope is that he really wants to know about Shen Bingqian's current situation. There have been romances, unhappiness, and fanaticism in the past. In his heart, Lin Feng hopes that Shen Bingqian is going well now, and at best, happy. The reason why he doesn't want it is because, no matter how good or bad Shen Bingqian is now, he doesn't want to have anything to do with Shen Bingqian anymore. The relationship is too special and has no future, so it's better to distance himself. Lin Feng, you know me? Spring and white snow, you guessed it? Lin Feng, if I could guess, what would I ask you to do? Are you a woman or a man? Yang Chun begs you didn't read my profile? Lin Feng, I can't believe your information, because your hometown is in Iraq. Yang Chun Begzir posted a picture of a pursed smile, which made Lin Feng's heart even more confused. Lin Feng was a little relieved. Maybe someone who had nothing to do with him before suddenly found his number on a whim, and then added a joke. For the time being, I don't want to think about it in detail. Whoever loves it is who it is, and Lin Feng doesn't want to talk to her anymore, so he sent a smiley face with a message, I'm going to work, so I'll talk back. Yang Chun begs you is unrelenting. You are a duck, you work at night, who do you serve? The slender person is still fat, the young person is still middle-aged, and she will not be a fat woman who is over 40 years old and weighs more than 200 pounds. I rely on that. Lin Feng cursed in his heart because he was disgusted. Lin Feng, or I will block you. Yang Chun begs you, it's what I meant just now, if you dare to block me, I will break your 3 legs. According to the style of the message, it was more like a woman chatting with him, but it could also be a man who pretended to be bored. Just like when he wrote a conversation, he could write a man's style and a woman's style. Lin Feng opened the document and started typing. 10 minutes passed, 20 minutes passed, and more than half an hour passed. He didn't chat with Yang Chun Begzyu again, and Yang Chun Begzyu didn't send him any more messages. But until after midnight, Yang Chun Begzyu was still online. According to her chat account level, she wasn't online for so long before. Is it intentional tonight? Lin Feng took advantage of the code word to rest and sent another message to Yang Chun Begzyu, do you want to find a one-night kiss? Yang Chun Begzyu replied very quickly, obviously people were always beside the computer, you rascal. Lin Feng, don't be embarrassed, I'm very strong, or I'll make you comfortable and tell me how your bed skills are. Yang Chun Begzyu, my bedtime is very high, I'm afraid you won't be able to take it, I'll break your waist. Lin Feng, do you want to try it? Bai Shui in the spring, you rascal. Even if Yang Chun Begzyu really wanted to have a one-night kiss, Lin Feng would not play with her. He blocked her when she asked for an address. Through the teasing just now, Lin Feng could also feel that Yang Chun Begzyu had no idea of having a one-night kiss with him. Lin Feng continued to code, and waited until after 1 o'clock in the morning to read again. Yang Chun Begzyu was offline. He smiled relievedly and continued to code. The increase in royalties stimulated him. Shang Yun's change of attitude stimulated him. Shang Yunjuan's soft and wet body also stimulated him. Lin Feng wanted to change his pseudonym to be very exciting, but he thought it was very exciting. This pseudonym is better and more connotative than Mu Feng. Very inspired, but Lin Feng still stopped coding at 2 o'clock in the morning. If there are too many codes at one time, he may feel that his head is big when he tries to code again next time. The night passed. In the morning, before Lin Feng got up, he heard a knock on the door. It was most likely Dainan, but Lin Feng didn't want to wear only a pair of trousers to open the door for Dainan. Lin Feng quickly put on his pants, Chi Luo put on his upper body and opened the door. It was Dainan who was carrying the small steamed buns and treasure porridge. Lin Feng, have breakfast. Come in and eat together, Lin Feng said. The very trendy sweater makes her tall look fuller, and the tight denim makes her slender legs more graceful. The contour of the buttocks evokes a wonderful fantasy. Sitting on the chair and exhaling the aroma, Diane smiled and said, "You really work hard. It's 1:30 in the morning, and you can still hear your keyboard ringing. The manuscript fee is 40 yuan per 1,000 words. From now on, we will also earn a monthly salary of over 10,000 yuan. It happened that I was very inspired last night, so I wrote more," Lin Feng said with a smile. Hearing a click, Diane kissed Lin Feng's face. Lin Feng felt the softness and warmth of Diane's red lips, and looked at her face again, smiling shyly. Although there was a little ambiguity before, Lin Feng even touched her chest, but the kiss that suddenly fell on Lin Feng's face just now made her very shy. Lin Feng gently kneaded Diane's soft waist for a moment, and then kissed her face. "Eat breakfast." Diane hummed sweetly, then picked up a small steamed bun and put it in her mouth. After eating the bun, her smile became brighter, less shy, and more. "You are now a person with a monthly salary of over 10,000 yuan. When I open a store in the next year, you can invest in it. In a slightly better place, the rent is very expensive. I don't have that much money. Maybe I will give you some money, but not necessarily. I will seriously consider it when I go home for the Chinese New Year, but one thing will not change. If you are very short of money, I will lend you 30,000 to 20,000 yuan. Lin Feng said. Diane was obviously a little lost. Rather than lending her money, she wanted to become partners with Lin Feng, thinking that it would be easier to make money by doing business with two good friends. But Lin Feng is obviously very cautious about doing business and investment, or waiting for Lin Feng's decision. If he keeps instigating it, his motives will appear impure. Diane doesn't want Lin Feng to have any misunderstanding about her. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 107. Chapter 120. The Beauty That Can Wash the Soul. After having breakfast together, Diane left Lin Feng's partition room. There were a lot of code words last night, and this morning was relatively unmotivated. Lin Feng lay down on the bed and planned to continue sleeping until lunchtime. This return to sleep was very enjoyable. I had two beautiful dreams in a row. The first dream was the first kiss between him and his ex-girlfriend Shen Bingqian, and the second dream was when he touched Shang Yuna's chest. Lin Feng has never done that kind of thing with her beautiful teacher, Shang Yuna, but touching and kissing her red lips and stroking her is enough. When he woke up, it was indeed noon. Lin Feng's body was very straight, and he didn't want to fall down for a while. Lin Feng glanced at it with pride and put on his pants. Some people are always proud that they have a good father. Some people are always proud of themselves. Lin Feng is always proud of his own. If I went to participate in a talent show, he told the sanctimonious judges, my greatest talent is that the thing is very big, he will be knocked down, and the security guard will also appear. He will bring wonderful fantasies to some female judges, but he will still be knocked down. At that moment, he deserved it, but his thing would be very innocent. After lunch, Lin Feng returned to the partition room to continue coding. He was full of inspiration, but he was not typing as fast as last night. His hands were a little dry, and the keyboard was a little slippery when he touched it. Lin Feng didn't like the feeling of touching the keyboard. So he spit on his finger and felt a little better, but soon began to slip again, so Lin Feng spit again on his finger. Yang Chunbaixu sent another message. Have you eaten lunch yet? Lin Feng, made by my wife, braised pork and steamed fish, I just had it. Bai Shui in the spring, who is it? Where do you have a wife? The problem came out. Yang Chunbaixu probably knew him even more, even knowing that he didn't have a wife. Lin Feng, it seems that you really know me, who are you? Yang Chunbaixu, if you insist on saying that I know you, I only met you through the internet chat last night, and I simply learned your rogue style. Lin Feng is very reluctant. How do you know I don't have a wife? Yang Chun begs you, judging from your work and rest, if you really have a wife, you won't go to bed so late. Your wife will ask you to hand in the public food. If Yang Chun begs you is really judged by his work and rest, it makes sense. Lin Feng thinks again, is he a little too sensitive? Lin Feng intends to have a blast and continue to code words. Tell you a secret, I often go to my wife's company to find her, and then carry her to the desk to do that. Sometimes her beautiful little colleagues will see, when I try hard, I will shout, 1, 2, 3, come on. Yang Chun begs you, you and your wife are both hooligans. Lin Feng was depressed. He was even more unable to judge whether Yang Chun begs you really knew him, and he was too lazy to continue chatting with her, so he wrote carefully. For the next 2 hours or so, Yang Chun begs you didn't send him a message. I wonder if it was exciting. Li Xingguo called and asked Lin Feng to go to the Jinwu Center for a few drinks. When Lin Feng arrived at the Jinwu Center in the evening, he saw Zhang Xing, who was already working as a receptionist here. The moment she saw Lin Feng, Zhang Xing was very excited, smiled brightly and shouted, Lin Feng, you are here. Lin Feng showed a very sunny smile, admiring Zhang Xingjiao's beautiful and clean face and slender and graceful figure. Well, come and have a drink with this buddy. Li Xingguo, who was standing beside Lin Feng, smiled and walked away. Obviously, he wanted to leave a space for Lin Feng and Zhang Xing to chat. Lin Feng took a few steps closer to the front desk, and his smile was a little more dashing than before, feeling okay. Not bad. Then work hard and get used to it slowly. I also believe that you are a girl with strong adaptability, Lin Feng said. Thank you for your encouragement, and thank you for giving me such a good opportunity. I never knew how to repay you. I'm the kind of person who doesn't like to owe favors. No one likes to owe favors, but no one can avoid owed favors. It's like picking up money on the road. I wanted to give it to the police uncle, but I couldn't find it. It's nothing to put it in my pocket, Lin Feng said. Can this be the same? Zhang Xing couldn't figure out what Lin Feng meant just now. The person standing at the front desk should have put on proper makeup, but Zhang Xing, who was wearing the uniform at the front desk, still had her face turned upside down. Her clean beauty shocked the men and women who saw her. What is a real beauty? Support apricot is. A beautiful Taekwondo student from Jinwu Center said after seeing Zhang Xing that the beauty of the girl at the front desk can wash people's hearts. Her beauty is clean, and her eyes are clear. Lin Feng also inevitably considers a very wet issue. Who does the beautiful, extremely pure and clean village girl Zhang Xing belong to in the end? Lin Feng regards Zhang Xing as a friend. So far, he has never thought about attacking Zhang Xing if he is provoked by Zhang Xing. Even if he masturbates or finds another woman to vent, he does not intend to do anything to Zhang Xing. But things are impermanent and human feelings are ever changing, and Zhang Xing's feelings towards Lin Feng will also change constantly. Lin Feng and Li Xingguo drink together. I drink the Urquioto that goes beyond the classic and a little softer. The price is not scary but the taste is still very good. Zhao Fei is not in Chao, but Li Xingguo talks about Zhao Fei the most. Li Xingguo has already started living with Zhao Fei. He often takes Zhao Fei for shopping, and often does things with Zhao Fei in different places. When she got high-end clothes and jewelry, Zhao Fei would scream at Li Xingguo. Husband, you are so arrogant. I will take good care of you. Li Xingguo would say, don't use the word serving, you are not my slave, you are my girlfriend, please, let's be comfortable together. After clinking glasses again, Li Xingguo, who had already drank several glasses in a row, sighed and breathed out a breath of alcohol. The longer I have been with Zhao Fei, the more I feel that she is like my sixth. Ren, Zhao Fei has done stupid things before, but she is very nice. I'm already thinking about telling my dad. It seems that you want to marry Zhao Fei earlier. I'm afraid she will fly. You are good to her, she won't be able to fly for a while, and she's not a fool. If you fly away from you easily, it will be difficult to find more and more people like you in the future, so I should wait a few years and then consider telling the story. Your father is more appropriate, Lin Feng said. I understand what you mean. You are afraid that Zhao Fei will do something ridiculous to make it difficult for me to ride a tiger. This is only one aspect. Secondly, there is your father's ability to bear. You have to think carefully about how to tell him how to make Zhao Fei better, so that it will be easier to get his support, Lin Feng said. Listen to you. Li Xingguo quickly asked Lin Feng's personal question again, asking him if there was any drama with Shang Yuna. Lin Feng said, maybe it's an illusion, maybe it's true, I feel that the drama of the monk Yuna is getting bigger and bigger. Li Xingguo said, you her and make her comfortable, so the drama will be even bigger. Lin Feng said, in fact, I have thought about getting on Shang Yuna several times. Even if she resists and I get on her, she basically won't sue me for forced opinion, but I can't do that ruthless attack. Li Xingguo said, Shang Yuna is a beautiful woman, and has a job that is very suitable for women. The household registration is local. If you become her, your descendants will be from Beijing. After a few years, your household registration can also be transferred. You can also be considered to create a downrod for future generations. Lin Feng said, I want to get Shang Yuna, the main reason is because of her, even if she is not local, it is fine. In another case, if there is a girl who suits me well in the future, even if she is poor, even if she is out of town, I'll be nice to her too. Li Xingguo said, I know you are not powerful, but you have to catch what you should be caught. Lin Feng said, I also want to get more good things, but I can't do anything to get them. Li Xingguo said, come on, cheers. It was almost 9 o'clock in the evening. Lin Feng and Li Xingguo were still drinking, and both of them were already drunk. Li Xingguo told Lin Feng a lot of what he had done to his ex-girlfriends, all kinds of wet, all kinds of hot, all kinds of ruthless. If he had heard these things before, Lin Feng would have broken the bridge of Li Xingguo's nose, but now he has a better understanding of Li Xingguo. No matter what Li Xingguo treated women in the past, he still treats his friends very well. Yeah, I didn't do anything to be sorry to my friends. This should be the biggest shining point of Li Xingguo. He has done things that others have never done, but he has also done things that are difficult for others to do. People are so complicated. Lin Feng once again wished Li Xingguo and Zhao Fei a bright future in his heart. Lin Feng originally did not recommend Li Xingguo and Zhao Fei to talk to each other, but Li Xingguo recognized Zhao Fei. What to do? When Lin Feng was about to leave the Jinwu Center and go back, he received a call from the beautiful owner of Menfei Yang Disco, Hey Rose. Lin Feng was surprised. Li Xingguo was also surprised. Lin Feng wondered, Sister Hey, why did you remember to call me? Any one of my friends has a place in my heart. I treat you as a friend, so I have never forgotten you. Since you have never called me, I can only take the initiative to call you. Let me ask you, have you encountered any problems? Is there anything you need help from Sister Hey? Sister Hey, you are very interesting to your friends. I've heard people say before that Sister Hey is very kind to her friends. Now I feel it personally. It's okay recently. It's still the same rhythm as before. I go shopping and get together with friends occasionally. Occasionally get together with friends. Haven't you thought about getting together with me? Come on, I'll be waiting for you at Menfei Yang Disco. I'm afraid it won't work tonight. I just drank a lot, I'm drunk, and I'm walking around. It's the most enjoyable to come to me in this state for entertainment. If you don't come, you don't treat me as a friend. Hey Rose's words were still said with a smile, and she could hear both laughter and anger. Okay, MRS hey, I'll go look for you. Lin Feng almost had no way out. Even if he didn't want to get too close to the beauty of the underground world, Hey Rose, he didn't want to offend Hey Rose. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 108. Chapter 121. The beautiful hero teases him. Offending Hey Rose is more terrifying than offending Pao Yezhongjijin, because Hey Rose is sharper to repair people than Pao Yezhongjijin. Lin Feng doesn't want to be repaired by Hey Rose in a perverted way, otherwise his novels will really be broken. I can't get along in Beijing. I'm going with you, Li Xingguo said. Don't go, I'll go alone. If you go too, I'm afraid Black Rose will fix you. She invited you alone. If I followed, I would be suspected of making a comeback. It is estimated that she will really fix me. A beating is light. I am afraid that she will feed me the kind of food bought from Shu province. The chili noodles that are so spicy that one's heart is filled, but it's nothing, for the sake of my friends, I'm not afraid. If you don't dare to go alone, just say so, Li Xingguo said. There's nothing to be afraid of, and I guess nothing will happen, Lin Feng said. Don't worry, I'll go first. I'll send a car to take you there. No, if you see the car at Jinwu Center tonight, Black Rose is still very likely to fix you. I'll take a taxi. Accompanied by Li Xingguo, Lin Feng walked out of Jinwu Center and took a taxi from the street to Menfei Yang Disco. Fascinated by the brilliant neon lights, Baiman, one of the three masters of Black Rose, was standing outside the Menfei Yang Disco and waiting for Lin Feng. His beautiful face showed a wicked smile, and his eyes released fiery radio waves at him. Baiman's body was swaying, as if he might fall into his arms at any time, but Lin Feng knew that Baiman would not rush over in front of passers-by. Sister Hey, let me wait for you here, come in with me. Lin Feng and Baiman walked into the Menfei Yang Disco together, savoring the rich aroma of Baiman's body. His body couldn't help but straighten up. Based on his imagination, he could basically conclude that on the big soft bed, Baiman would be a fiery and wild man. Woman, she might try any pose. When he arrived at the room where Hey Rose was, Lin Feng not only saw Hey Rose, a charming woman, but also Bing Chen, a woman whose face was also extremely beautiful but always had a bit of coldness. At this time, what Lin Feng thought of was serious. He saw Baiman and Bing Chen, the three masters around Hey Rose, but where did Sirius go? Even if they are experts around Black Rose, it is unlikely that they will be by her side all the time. Maybe Sirius has done other things. Thinking of this, Lin Feng is a little relieved, but he always feels that something is wrong, as if what happened. Baiman, Bing Chen, you two go out first, Hey Rose smiled. Baiman and Bing Chen both went out, and this luxurious room was only for Shi Linfen and Hey Rose. With her beautiful face, plump body, and wheat-colored skin, her eyes are always fascinated by radio waves. Every detail of Black Rose's body exudes enthusiasm that can easily make men impulsive. You drank, and you drank a lot. It was AI who had a drink with Li Xingguo at the Jinwu Center just now. Lin Feng took out a cigarette and gave it to Black Rose. Hey Rose took the cigarette Lin Feng gave him, and when she saw it was Ziyun, her brows furrowed slightly. The artillery master Zhang Zhigong gave you a lot of high-end tobacco, alcohol, and tea a few days ago. Why are you smoking Ziyun again? Already? Lin Feng was very surprised, but his eyes were still calm. Looking at Hey Rose's face, he smiled and said, Sister Hey, you are indeed a well-informed person. It seems that you already know the conflict between me and Canon Master Zhang Zhijin. Although you are surprised, I just know it. I treat you as a friend and care about your life very much. Naturally, I understand the twists and turns you have encountered in your life, but you are also good enough. You are worthy of writing online novels. Yes, you actually acted in 2 scenes, making Pao Master Zhang think that you are a person with a great background. Hey Rose's words were obviously sarcastic. Even if Pao Ye Zhang is a tough character, for my friend, I have to deal with him. You are very good at flaunting yourself as if you are really a person who dares to cut a knife for your friends. This is who I am. But you cut a knife for the sake of your friend. When you need help, your friend may give you 2 knives in return, and a lot of effort will not be rewarded unless you are very principled and iron. That kind of friend, like me. Black Rose let out a sigh of smoke at Lin Feng's face. The smell of is very strong. Black Rose is the heroine of the underground world, neither Shang Yunjuan nor Dai Nan, so Lin Feng is unlikely to hold her in his arms after being raped by Black Rose, otherwise he may pay a heavy price for his frivolous behavior. Sister He, you are also showing off yourself. I do not have. But I feel it, Lin Feng said. Sometimes you are afraid of causing trouble, but sometimes you are rebellious. Believe it or not, I will call Master Zhang Jijin and tell him that you are a person without any background, and let him fix you. Black Rose said. Lin Feng stared at He Rose's eyes. He found a very sharp evil in He Rose's eyes. He had only known He Rose for a short time, and he was not sure about He Rose's temperament. He could not rule out that He Rose would really to do this. Sister He, you are a big man. Compared with you, I am a trivial person. It doesn't make any sense for you to treat me like this. You bring any sense of accomplishment. Maybe I'll find it enjoyable. Sister He, you called me over this time to scare me. If you consider me a friend too, what you said just now is a joke. If you don't consider me a friend, what you just said will become a reality. Black Rose blew another breath of smoke into Lin Feng's face. Lin Feng had the urge to go mad, but he still resisted it and said with a smile, Sister He, you said it just now, I'm rebellious sometimes. If I don't think you are a friend, and you call me, I won't will come. Black Rose smiled and nodded. No matter whether what Lin Feng said just now was against her heart, she was quite satisfied. I called you here this time, not to intimidate you. I don't have that addiction. I called you here to give you a chance to make a fortune. He Rose deliberately straightened her chest, and the waves immediately became turbulent. Even if Lin Feng was unintentional at this moment, she was also greatly stimulated. Opportunity to get rich? Lin Feng wondered for a few seconds and then came to understand that Black Rose wanted him to fight someone, but the person who was about to become his opponent had not yet appeared. Lin Feng's idea quickly got the application, and He Rose told him that Yi Xiangjing from a joint venture company would bring a karate master to bet with her. Sirius played, but Sirius was injured a few days ago. Even if Lin Feng didn't want to face this, but after hearing He Rose say this, he entered a somewhat miraculous state and asked, why is Sirius injured? Is it badly hurt? He Rose was very satisfied with the questions that Lin Feng asked at this time, as if Lin Feng already regarded her as his own, so she was concerned about the safety of Sirius. Black Rose looked at Lin Feng's face with a special meaning, and smiled. A few days ago, a gambling game was set up near Cao Fei's store in Hebei province. The high rollers who participated in the gambling were not only from all over the mainland, but also from Hong Kong and Macau. It was very big. As a result, a certain Hong Kong boss suspected that I had 1,000 people, so he went to war. Sirius blocked a shot for me. Fortunately, only the thigh was injured, and there was a lot of blood. It was not life-threatening. He found the best doctor to treat him, and he will be fine in 3 or 2 months. What Black Rose said was shocking, all of which Lin Feng had never dealt with before, such as big bets, bosses, guns and bullets, but Lin Feng could also hear it. Black Rose didn't make up a single bit of it. What she said was just a few days ago. What really happened? No wonder Sirius didn't appear now, no wonder Black Rose summoned the crowd to call him over. Sister He, regardless of whether you will be angry or not, I would like to ask, if I don't fight with the person brought over by the joint venture company Seongjing, will you clean me up? You seem to be a little nervous, you forgot what I said just now, didn't I say it? It is possible to tell Master Pao Zhongjin at any time that you are a person without any background. Master Pao is a person who will pay revenge. If he doesn't to get revenge on someone who has offended him, the only possibility is that he can't provoke this person. Although your skill is very high, I think it will be very easy if Master Pao mobilizes people and contacts to deal with you. At that time, you still want to be your online writer, and you still want to stay in the bustling city of Beijing? Go dreaming. Hearing He Rose say these ruthless words, and having drank a lot of alcohol at the Jinwu Center, Lin Feng felt a little urgent to urinate, and his legs were shaking. If you want to pee, go to pee. My bathroom is very high-end, it's worthy of yours. Where? Over there. Black Rose glanced at the bathroom door when she turned around. Lin Feng walked quickly into the bathroom. He did pee a lot. He comforted himself in his heart that he was not scared. He urinated because he drank a lot of alcohol. Besides, even if I didn't drink, I would pee if I wanted to. Even if Lin Feng was a little embarrassed in front of her, Black Rose did not underestimate him because of this. During the war of resistance against Japan, many people were scared to pee, but they could still chop off the devil's head with a big knife. The moment the blood spurted out, they were scared to pee again. Black Rose's grandfather fought with the Dongying devils in the 3 eastern provinces. These are all what her grandfather said when she was a child. Her grandfather was scared to urinate twice, but there were more than 20 Dongying devils who died in his hands. 1. The military medals are sparkling, much better than the color of urine. Lin Feng sat next to He Rose again, and He Rose looked at Lin Feng's pants, thinking, you, Diozai, when I saw you, I thought of my respectable grandfather, but can I tell you this, in front of you, I need to be straight. Looking at your pee, it's embarrassing enough. Even the ball cover of your trousers is full of pee ideas. It's quite good. He Rose gave Lin Feng a cigarette, which was a very high-end Hulan beer. It is estimated that Dongying man is coming soon. After seeing Seongjing, you won't pee again, will you? No urine. You can't urinate when you're so nervous. Hold until he leaves, and then pee. Lin Feng said. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 109. Black Rose laughed happily. If you win the karate master brought by Seongjing, and you win $1 million, I will give you a commission of 30, and you will also have the opportunity to play with a Dongying woman. 30 of a million is 300,000. Lin Feng's existing deposit is more than 200,000 if Wang Wei hasn't returned it to him. If he wins this game and gets 300,000, then he has more than 500,000. The person. At the same time, he was able to play with a Dongying woman. Lin Feng had never slept with a Dongying woman before. Regardless of whether the Dongying woman he might have slept with was a beautiful woman, he was very impulsive. In less than a minute, Lin Feng broke free from this hype. After his mood returned to reality, he thought of the people and things that had appeared in his life before. He should walk down to earth. He can't float up. Once a person floats up, he won't be far from falling. If you are lucky, you will only fall and die. If you are unlucky, you will die. Sister Hey, from the bottom of my heart, I'm more interested in the normal growth of my wealth. Such an abnormally large amount of money will make me very uncomfortable. I treat you as a friend, and you call me, and I'm here too. So this time I will fight with the masters brought by Seongjing, but in the future, if you have this kind of thing, don't call me. If you think I'm too disobedient and rebellious, then you go and tell Pao about me. Lord. Don't think that I'm afraid of Lord Pao, you irritate me, and cut him. A legend of the new white lady, Lin Feng said. Black Rose was stunned. What does Lin Feng mean? What does it mean to cut his song The Legend of the New White Snake? What you said just now is very interesting, but Sister He doesn't understand, please explain it, Hey Rose said. Lin Feng said, I used to have a junior high school classmate, Zhang Jian, who lived in a village near the county seat. His father was a small contractor who could build buildings with 3 floors or less. Although he couldn't make a lot of money, his income was still very high in our county seat. Apparently, Zhang Jian didn't show much in the first year of junior high school. When he was in the second year of junior high school, he became a ruthless character. His fists in fights were very hard, and his kicks were also very energetic, and he liked using machetes when he was hacking people. I like to sing, if it is sung, whoever says that love me will never change, that is to cut 11 knives. Hearing this, Hey Rose laughed, your junior high school classmate Zhang Jian, he's a talent, please let him come and hang out with me, I'll make him rich. When I was in junior high school, I cut people. In fact, he didn't always sing. Sometimes he recited the 3-character classic. He didn't use violent force when he cut the place where he died, and injured a few people, but because of his family relationship, he was barely expelled, and he joined the society after graduating from junior high school. What about now? Black Rose asked with great interest. I've been jailed, with a reprieve. It's estimated to be 20 years later when I come out. I was locked up last year, fighting and fighting. I really cut a piece of Legend of the New White Snake, and even the hoo-hoo when the beautiful snake spins at the beginning of the prologue. The prelude has been chopped up, and the person who challenged him was chopped into dumpling stuffing. Lin Feng changed the topic, Sister He, if you are very interested in him, then you can fish him out and follow you. He may stumble upon a few foreign ditties. If I really want to catch him, do you think I can't catch him? I don't dare to say it, it's still a little sure if it turns 20 years into 5 years, but for that kind of thing, what do I do with him? Isn't he very good at cutting? If he fights with you, is it possible that his machete will fall on you? It is estimated that the moment his machete was lifted, I kicked him out and killed him. I only needed 1 second, Lin Feng said. Black Rose's smile became more and more fascinated, she grabbed Lin Feng's hand and brought a piece of softness and warmth to Lin Feng. Black Rose's slender jade hand was soft enough and her skin was delicate, and just by gently pinching his hand, his body stood tall and straight. To a new level. Not stupefied. But it looks like Leng Deng. Hey Rose looked at Lin Feng's trousers and said softly, it's hard, it's okay, when you win the master brought by Xiong Jing, you can also shoot at the Dongying woman and beat her hard. Lin Feng is very embarrassed. Lin Feng's blood is boiling abnormally. Hey Rose was obviously playing him, but he didn't have any ability to fight back for the time being. Hey Rose asked him to fight someone, so he had to fight someone. Black Rose received a call from the joint venture company Xiong Jing, saying that she would arrive in 10 minutes. Yue said, Black Rose, are you ready? Let your serious calm down. Black Rose said, Xiong Jing, you are a bit arrogant, come and see how I will deal with you. Xiong Jing said, let Baiman also prepare, I will make him very comfortable. Hey Rose said, Baiman told me that as long as you win, she will serve you well. Baiman can be a goddess, a queen, or a maid. Xiong Jing obviously didn't know what happened to Black Rose in Cao Fei's store in Ji province, nor did he know that Sirius was shot in the thigh and couldn't play, but the one who represented Black Rose was a man named Lin Feng. Lin Feng wondered, Sister He, Xiong Jing mentioned Baiman just now, what happened? Black Rose said, actually, in addition to the 1 million bet, there are additional bets. If I win, then Yui's senior lover, Mika Wako, will obey me, and she will have to sleep with whomever I ask her to sleep with. If I lose, then my Bibaimon is going to sleep with Xiong Jing. Very weird game. Lin Feng was very uncomfortable, but Black Rose did play this game with Xiong Jing. Sister, hey, you take Byman as a bet, and she has no opinion at all. She is my person, she is extremely loyal to me. If I say to her now, Byman, take off your pants and let Lin Feng get on you, she will immediately take off her pants and put on a pose you like, Black Rose said. Sister, hey, you are amazing. It's you who thundered, said Black Rose. Lin Feng was struck by lightning, but he couldn't have any temper right now. In order to stabilize his mind, he quickly lit another cigarette and started smoking. Black Rose began to think about whether to tell Lin Feng the in-depth inside story. After thinking about it, she should wait until the fight is over. Although Lin Feng's kung fu is very high, Lin Feng may not be 100% sure to win the master brought by Xiong Jing. Karate has different realms. People who are also practicing karate have great differences in strength. Asano, who Yui brought over this time, is an extreme karate master. Sirius said that even if he doesn't get shot in his right thigh, even if he exerts all his strength, there is only a 50% chance of winning. Since Sirius only has a 50% certainty, then if it is Lin Feng, it is estimated that he has only a 70% certainty. Although Lin Feng has defeated Byman and Bing Chen successively, Hei Rose does not think that Lin Feng's kung fu is much higher than that of Sirius. Maybe Lin Feng and Sirius are tied. A Toyota off-road vehicle was parked outside the Menfei Yang disco, and Yui and 3 other people got out of the car, including the extreme karate master Asano, Yui's senior lover Mikawako, and another young man from Dongying. Accompanied by Byman and Bing Chen, Hei Rose walked out. The moment she saw the 3 beauties, Xiong Jing was irritated. No matter who of the 3 of them tried hard, she would feel extremely comfortable. Sirius is big enough, I came, but he didn't come out, Xiong Jing said. He's getting ready, said Black Rose. Have you seen it? He is Asano, Yui rode. Hei Rose looked at Asano, smiled and nodded, thinking, he is big enough, there are not many men of Dongying's height, and his muscles are well developed. In the luxurious room, what Yujing saw was not Sirius, but a young man he had never seen before. There are no obvious features in appearance or figure, and the skin is not very developed. Yui has always believed that a man's strength can be reflected through muscles. Black Rose, who is he? His name is Lin Feng, and he is a friend of mine. It just so happened that today we should bet against each other, but Sirius has a stomachache, so I let Lin Feng play, Hei Rose said. From a woman's point of view, Xiong Jing, who is less than 40 years old, is a very handsome man with a cool face. Hearing that Hei Rose said that Lin Feng, who is in front of him, would be allowed to fight, Xiong Jing laughed coldly. He glanced at Lin Feng disdainfully, and then looked at Hei Rose's beautiful face. Hei Rose, if Asano beats Lin Feng into a maim within a minute, I guess you will say that this time is not counted, because it's not Sirius who fought. If Sirius is not a scumbag, then don't pretend to have a stomachache at such a critical moment, let him play, I can promise that Asano will not make him crippled. Xiong Jing, is your brain flooded? Are you despising my friend Lin Feng? You started to despise it before I started, you are always so arrogant, Hei Rose said. Really, let him fight. It's him, Black Rose said. Of course Asano will not have any opinion. His goal is to defeat his opponent. The more unbearable the opponent, the more effort he saves. In Lin Feng's opinion, Asano, who is a few centimeters taller than him, is indeed very muscular. Intuition tells Lin Feng that Asano is not just big and muscular, his kung fu will also be very high and his speed will be very fast. There are indeed many top karate masters. Lin Feng learned from the internet that even in the black market boxing circles in North America, karate masters occupy a certain position, but those sturdy fighters have already mastered the karate moves. Together with the fighting softness, it is flexible and powerful and killing. It is not ruled out that this Asano has played a black market boxing advanced competition before. It is impossible for Lin Feng not to be anxious at all, and it is impossible to rule out the possibility that he will be beaten to death by Asano. Thinking that his life might end, and that he might not be able to continue weaving wonderful plots for readers, Lin Feng felt pain in his heart, and gradually, his face became stern. Xiang Jing saw it, and once again despised Lin Feng in his heart. "I don't know where your kid came from." It turned out to be the cannon fodder that replaced Sirius and became Black Rose. Maybe Black Rose was for the life of Bo Sirius. "Let you fight, you'll be miserable." Xiang Jing believes that it is very likely that Lin Feng has only practiced wild kung fu for a while, and is a little guy who thinks he can fight well but is actually very sad. "Black Rose, if there are no other problems, can it be opened?" Yueji asked. "Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 110. Black Rose nodded with a smile and looked at Lin Feng. "Let's go, it's time to start the fight." "Did you see it? This Dongying beauty is Mikawako, with a pretty face, a well-proportioned body, and a big water. She won the fight against Asano. You can go to Mikawako." Lin Feng was very annoyed and felt that Black Rose should not have shouted such words to him at this time, as if he was a greedy and lecherous person. However, Mikawako is indeed a beautiful woman, with a delicate face and delicate skin, and a well-proportioned and graceful figure. Although Black Rose's words were suspected of hurting her self-esteem, the smile on the corner of her mouth was still the same, and there was no trace of sullenness. Maybe Mikawako has already set a position for herself in her heart. She exists to sleep with men, so even if she is frivolous, she will be so calm. Lin Feng also thought of a very realistic question. Although Mikawako is a senior lover of Xiang Jing, has she slept with many men under the arrangement of Xiang Jing? Although she is delicate and white, her fungus may be very black, her body may be dirty. The venue has changed. Lin Feng vs Asano. Black Rose, White Man Bing Chen and Yujing Mikawako, the strangers of the Eastern Ying dynasty, were sitting on the sidelines watching the battle. Asano had already taken off his upper body shirt, revealing his strong muscles. The moment he shrugged, the large muscles surged, full of terrifying power. Lin Feng is still the same as before, standing in front of Asano very calm, but his muscles are far worse than Asano, as if the extreme karate master Asano can kick him out with one kick. The fight was about to begin soon, and Black Rose also began to consider whether it was a wise decision to let Lin Feng come and fight Asano. Maybe she should find someone more sturdy, and her kung fu should be better than that of Sirius and Lin Feng. "Come to fight Asano. Open." Asano obviously despised Lin Feng and didn't give much consideration. Lifting his leg towards Lin Feng's chest was a flying kick. The speed was fast enough and the strength was strong enough. The moment Lin Feng dodged, he slammed a fist into Asano's face. The moment Asano dodged, he kicked his legs towards Lin Feng again. Lin Feng took a few steps back while dodging, keeping a distance of about 4 meters from Asano. Lin Feng was a little passive, but Asano's sharp attack just now did not cause any damage to Lin Feng, nor did it have the effect of a quick fight. Lin Feng did not fall to the ground and bleed, he was still standing there. Lin Feng wanted to devote himself to the fight with Asano, but he couldn't help but get distracted. He thought of a very bitter taste. Why did he fight with Asano, a native of Dongying? Xiang Jing, who was watching the battle, and another young man from Dongying were quite proud. They had already predicted that Lin Feng was no longer Asano's opponent. Although Lin Feng was still standing, it was a matter of time before he fell. It was estimated that in 2 minutes, Lin Feng would be able to do it. Falling to the ground covered in blood. "Hey Rose, I'm afraid you're going to lose face today, Baiman, look at how I've messed with you." Thinking of the wetness, Xiang Jing's body became taller and his expression was cold, but he was already laughing hideously in his heart. He also showed this hideous smile when he was going to use force on Baiman's body. Seeing that Lin Feng did not intend to take the initiative to attack, Asano leaned towards him again. This time, instead of throwing his legs, he quickly punched Lin Feng's face. Almost instantly, Asano slammed more than 10 punches at Lin Feng's face. Lin Feng was dodging while blocking. When his arms collided with Asano's fist, the pain was unbearable. If it wasn't for his endurance strong, I cried out in pain. Lin Feng is even more convinced that Asano has definitely fought in the advanced black market boxing competition. He has very rich fighting experience and is very ruthless. Lin Feng found an opportunity to fight back, and punched Asano's chest like lightning. Asano wanted to grab Lin Feng's wrist, but he took a beat. Took a small step back. When Lin Feng wanted to take the opportunity to change the angle to give Asano 2 more punches, Asano raised his knee and pushed it towards his lower abdomen. Lin Feng stepped back in small steps as he retracted his abdomen, and then a whip kick towards Asano's waist. Just hearing a bang, Asano's waist ate Lin Feng's swipe. His body still trembled slightly, and he didn't lean to the ground. Bang bang bang. Lin Feng actually kicked Asano with more than 20 leg sweeps in a row. Asano had no chance to attack for the time being, and could only keep retreating and dodging. Yueji, who was watching the battle, was stunned. Although his kung fu was not as high as that of Asano, he was someone who knew a little kung fu. He could see clearly that Lin Feng's leg skills were very powerful. If it is in the black market boxing arena, sturdy legs are more useful than fists, and those with sharp legs may become real powerhouses. With another bang, Lin Feng kicked Asano's chest. Asano let out a muffled cry, and his body rose into the air. At the same time, Lin Feng also jumped and kicked Asano's face again. The moment Asano's mouth was bleeding, his body twisted the twist and fell to the ground. The moment Lin Feng's feet landed one after another, his body also swayed. Before he kicked Asano with 2 consecutive kicks, his legs were also hit by Asano several times. S fist hit and was kicked by Asano's hooked leg. Asano's fighting ability was very strong, his whole face was swollen, and blood was dripping from his mouth, but he still stood up and leaned towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng's injury was much lighter than that of Asano. He rushed forward with a quick step and punched Asano's head with a few punches. Asano stepped back in an instant, but his face still caused Lin Feng to hit 2 punches one after another. Fell to the ground. Lin Feng rushed forward again and stepped on Asano's chest and stomach several times in a row. Asano's mouth spurted blood, his eyes widened, and he could die at any time. Yui obviously didn't want Asano to die, so he finally stopped, and Black Rose nodded to Lin Feng. Lin Feng glanced at Asano, who was lying on the ground, with contempt, and then walked towards Hey Rose with dashing steps. His steps were slow but normal, but anyone watching the battle knew his arms and both legs are injured, and there is also a wound on the stomach. This Asano's kung fu is even stronger than that of Zhou Qingshan, the master of Zhang Zhijin's master who Lin Feng had fought against before. Lin Feng even suspected that even the master serious beside Black Rose was not Asano's opponent. If the person who fought against Asano was serious, I am afraid that the one who fell to the ground and bleed was serious. Xiangjing, if you lose, the 1 million cash you brought will belong to me, and at the same time, your senior lover Miquenko will also stay, but don't worry, I will remind Lin Feng and let him face Michawakos. Be a little light when you use your body, you won't break your senior lover. Xiangjing is very embarrassed. Even if he is not a person who abides by the rules of willingness to admit defeat, he would not dare to go too far on Black Rose's territory. Since I lost, the previous promise will be fulfilled. Black Rose, you are indeed lucky. We have wagered 3 times, and you have won all of them. Who told me that there are too many masters around me? I can give you a little bit of the inside story. There are 2 masters around me who are no weaker than Lin Feng. If you continue to bet with me in the future, I will still take the trick. Then the stakes can be higher, and you have to find stronger people to fight, otherwise you will lose a lot of money to me. At present, there is no one around Black Rose who can't beat Lin Feng, but the words she made up make Xiangjing quite afraid. Xiangjing's face is obviously pale, and there is anger and frustration. Lin Feng is almost certain, and so on. In the future, when Yujing finds a suitable opportunity, he will bet against He Rose. I hope that at that time, He Rose will not let him play. The victory over Asano this time does not mean that he will be able to defeat the other masters that Xiangjing brought in next time. Although Lin Feng is very confident in his dragon and snake legs, he does not think that his kung fu is invincible in the world. In the black market boxing world, there must be many fierce people who are more powerful than him. Lin Feng doesn't want to compete for the first place in the field of kung fu, he just wants to write his online novels with heart, earn more and more royalties, and live a richer and richer life. If I keep fighting, I'm afraid there won't be a good Super League. Even though I win, Lin Feng's heart is more flustered than when he fought Asano. Xiangjing and another young man from Dongying left with the severely injured Asano, but Mikawako could only stay, smiling reservedly at He Rose, and then at Lin Feng again. Black Rose twisted Mikawako's beautiful face. Mikawako, your smile is very reserved, but your people are very hot, I heard Xiangjing say after drinking, you are here, there is a very hot woman on the bed, you have more taste than Teacher Kang, so he likes to force you. Mikawako lowered her head and didn't say anything. Arriving in a luxurious suite, Black Rose showed a fascinated smile at Lin Feng, as if the woman who was about to sleep with Lin Feng was not Mikawa but she. Before going to Mikawa, do you want to take a sauna? I will. Let Baiman serve you personally. Sister Hey, I have an injury on my body, so I won't be steaming in the sauna. At the same time, I don't want to sleep with this Dongying woman. I want to leave quickly, Lin Feng said, but before I leave, I still want to have a chat with you. He Rose's face sank. At this moment, what she thought was that Lin Feng, a young man with vigor and vitality, was a little too calm when facing the body of the Dongying woman he was about to enjoy. Could it be that Lin Feng didn't want to use force against Maiquanko's body at all? Could it be that Lin Feng didn't want to enjoy the taste of a Dongying woman's body at all? Maybe he wanted to, just because he was too panicked. Mikawako, you sit here and wait, I'll chat with Lin Feng for a while and then come out. Black Rose opened the bedroom door, walked in with Lin Feng, smiled and said, see? The big bed and sofa are very soft, and the carpet is very high-end. You can do it on the sofa with Mikawako first, and then transfer to the big bed, and then the two of you tangled up and fell from the big bed to the carpet, wet, drunk, hot and wild, don't you think about it at all. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us. Peach Youth. Author, Suki Feng. Chapter 111. Black Rose, don't talk about this, you asked me to fight Asano, I also fought, the 1,000,001 can even be yours, I don't want a penny, I just want to beg you, don't kill me, tell the truth without any background to Zhang Jijin, if anyone else bets with you in the future, don't let me play. Lin Feng's voice was trembling. He was really scared. He Rose stared at Lin Feng with playful eyes for a long time, and then showed a relieved smile. Who knows what will happen in the future, I can only say, you are my friend, I will try my best to respect your opinion, the 1,000,001 is 300,000 yuan from you, this will not change, and at the same time, you must treat Mikawako, if you don't, I'll call Pao Master Zhang Jijin immediately, and I'm afraid you won't have a good time for years after I make this call. Lin Feng cried. Lin Feng really shed tears. Sister Hey, you are a big man, don't bully a little man like me, I'm really scared. He Rose didn't expect that the mighty Lin Feng would suddenly cry in front of her when she was fighting Asano. It's better to burst into tears. I won't sympathize with your tears, because many people have cried to me before, and I'm very annoying to those who cry to me, but I'm not very annoying to you. It's time for you to go to Mikawako. Black Rose walked out. Lin Feng looked at Black Rose's back, and even wanted to attack Black Rose suddenly. If he attacked Black Rose quickly, he would definitely hit her deadly spot, and he would kill her in an instant. If this is the case, the Black Rose that flourished in the underground world would have died in his hands. But Lin Feng also knew that if he killed Hey Rose, he would definitely die. There would be many people in the black and white who would demand their lives, and I'm afraid no one would be able to save him. Go up. Lao Tzu has also had with a few women before, but before, they were all women from the Huaxia kingdom. Among them were the first daughters who cried out in pain, the charming women who shouted comfortably, and the hilarious watches. It doesn't matter if you go to this beauty from Dongying, it can be regarded as a foreign meat. Hey Rose left the suite and saw Lin Feng approaching. Mikawako, who was sitting on the sofa, smiled and nodded to him. Lin Feng, can we start now? It's time to start. I'll wait for you to take a bath. When taking a bath together, Lin Feng saw Mikawako's entire body. Her chest was full, her lower abdomen was flat and her hips were round and round. It felt soft and moist to touch. It was a very nice body of a Dongying woman. Mikawa also saw the bruises on Lin Feng's arms and legs, but she didn't say anything about it. Warm in the bathroom, warm on the big bed, warm on the sofa, warm on the carpet, Lin Feng exerted force on Miquenko's body for more than an hour. The taste of this kind of fierce woman is really wonderful. Lin Feng is cool. Mikawako is also cool. Michuanza doesn't mind that Lin Feng scored twice or even 3 times, but Lin Feng is no longer in this mood. Lin Feng just wanted to lie down on the bed and rest, but Miquenko Chaluo's body kept digging into his arms, so Lin Feng could only sleep with his arms around Miquenko. If it was Xiong Jingbao who raped you, even if you were his lover, he should love and respect you, and he shouldn't let you sleep with other men at will. Lin Feng didn't have much chatting with Miquenko, but he could bear it keep saying a word. Mikawako didn't say anything right away, and only said after 5 minutes, Xiangjing is a bastard, I am his lover in name, or a senior lover, but he made me sleep with other men several times. I'm not from the company's public relations department. People, but when you need beauty PR, you may let me in. Lin Feng had already guessed this level, but he was still surprised to hear Mikawako say it himself, you can resist, or you can escape. Xiangjing saved my life. I accidentally fell into the lake a few years ago. He fished me up. I have to repay him, so I can't resist or run away. According to the agreement between me and him, I'll be free in 3 years. It doesn't look like he's a hero. He saved you and asked you to sign an agreement with him. You can find a chance to kill him. Lin Feng regretted saying it, but he didn't know if he was instigating Miquenko to kill. I won't kill anyone anymore. That's too cruel. Do you know what my ideal is? Tell me the story. I want to be a woman like Teacher Kang, and I will let many men in this world know about me. At that time, I will proudly shout to the camera, hi, I'm Mikawa. Mikawako's ideal is great. Mikawako's ideal is also shocking. Mikawako's terrifying ideals brought out Lin Feng's wildness. Lin Feng turned over and suppressed Mikawako, and the brace was very violent. In the early morning, Mikawa left, and Lin Feng continued to lie on the soft bed, intending to make up for sleep. Hearing the knock on the door, Lin Feng had a premonition that it would be impossible to make up for sleep. He walked over to open the door, saw Bai Man, and said with a smile, why did you come here? Sister He asked me to give you medicine. Then come in. Lin Feng not only felt comfortable, but also felt pain when he exerted force on Mikawako's body. His arms were hurting, his legs were hurting, but this didn't affect the intensity of his exertion on Michiko's body. Maybe Mikawa will reminisce about the madness of this night in the future. Maybe Mikawa will become a great woman like Teacher Kang and tell the media that there used to be a young Chinese man who made me comfortable. Take it off. I just put it on, Lin Feng said. If you don't take off, how can I give you medicine? Alright. Lin Feng was very helpless, but he could only take off all his clothes and wear a pair of trousers. Although he scored twice against Miquanko's body, his body was still tall and straight at this time. Seeing his outline, the handsome Baiman's face was reddish, and his soft hands rose, giving Lin Feng his arms. Wipe the potion on the injured area of the calf, stomach, and chest. Lin Feng, your kung fu is really high, I admire you very much. Not only Sister He regards you as a friend, but I also regard you as a friend. Lin Feng smiled lightly. He didn't know if it was a good thing for He Rose to have someone around him as a friend. Do you want me to push oil for you? Never mind. I'll make you comfortable. Forget it, Lin Feng said. Baiman sat on the edge of the bed. After the potion on Lin Feng's body penetrated into her skin, she rushed towards Lin Feng, her plump pressed against Lin Feng's chest, and her red lips came together. Lin Feng originally wanted to say, "What are you doing?" but Baiman blocked his mouth. Fortunately, it was just a warm kiss and nothing else. Baiman smiled charmingly at Lin Feng and walked out with graceful steps. Baiman's back was very beautiful. Lin Feng thought to himself, why didn't he touch her when he kissed her just now? Black Rose ate breakfast with Lin Feng, and then handed him a small black suitcase containing the 300,000 yuan that Lin Feng should have received. According to Lin Feng's current manuscript fee standard, he has to write more than 8 million words to get 300,000 after tax. With his hard work, he got it overnight, and he also scored twice against the body of a Dongying beauty. Rich and beautiful. But Lin Feng's heart is more anxious, he can't be like this all the time, he doesn't want to keep fighting. While giving him the sweetness, Black Rose got even more sweetness. Winning the money is a small matter for Black Rose. The key problem is that she also lost the face of Xiangjing. It's the coolest moment for Black Roses. Black Rose is a beautiful and ruthless woman. Black Rose is a very competitive woman. He Rose is also an unscrupulous woman. She regards Lin Feng as a friend, but in her heart, many times friends and subordinates can be equated with cannon fodder. Lin Feng walked into the rental room with a small black suitcase, and saw Dainan in the corridor. Dainan was wearing tight-fitting leather boots, her slender legs were plump and textured, and the crimson high leather boots made her look wild. Dainan found that Lin Feng seemed to be hunting for beauty, but she was not at all disgusted by Lin Feng's hunting behavior. She looked at the small black suitcase in Lin Feng's hand curiously, and said with a smile, "What are you talking about? Come to my room and I'll tell you." Oh. Dainan walked gracefully into the partition room with Lin Feng, sat on a chair. Lin Feng gave Dainan a 329 soft Chinese, lit a cigarette himself, and said with a smile, "You seem to be going out. I want to go around and see if there is a suitable facade room. It's almost New Year's Eve, even if you want to open a store, you will have to New Year's Eve. Even if you have AI now, you can't rent it right away. Even if you rent it right away, you can't open it right away. You also have to celebrate the New Year," Lin Feng said. "Chinese New Year has nothing to do with people like me. If there is a suitable front house, I will rent it now. If it's a big deal, it will be empty for a while after I get it. I'm afraid it will be too late to start after the New Year. It seems that your heart is very eager, but let me tell you, the New Year is not only a matter of happy people, but also unhappy people, because it's coming," Lin Feng said. "I'm too lazy to say anything. If you find the right one, rent it if you can." Does Dainan have this ability? Obviously not, her deposit is only about 100,000. Even if she rents a small front house, it is not bad enough to pay the rent for a year, and then there is no money for other procedures and purchases. If you still want to decorate properly, if you rent a facade room, you will have no money. I really want to partner with Lin Feng, but Lin Feng has not made a decision yet. Maybe Lin Feng will think about it for a while, and tell her the answer after a few years is no. At that time, she will cry, but tears are useless. You haven't told me what's in this little black suitcase. Based on your intuition, what do you guess? A suitcase of this size is not practical for storing things, but it is very suitable for storing money, but I don't think you put money in this small black suitcase. It may be books. Did you sign the contract? The company, the editor-in-chief, sent you a lot of books, all in hardcover. Dinan's ideas are very pure and tasteful. He actually guessed that this small black suitcase contains books. It's not books, it's money. Impossible. Dinan couldn't believe that money was in the small black suitcase. Invincible Dragon welcomes you again, remember us.